It's Jen and Nikki Sixx. It's Sixx Sense. And not only is it us, it is Brett and it is Kyle and Mr. Roddy Piper himself. Welcome to the show.
Aren't you a sweetheart? Thank you very much.
So for the very first time, we're doing kind of like a round table here with all the guys because when we talk about wrestling or any kind of legendary person like yourself, I can't leave them out. There's no way I could have left them out today.
You love them.
This is an honor for them as well as myself.
That's
so
very kind.
We're really excited to have you here.
Thank you. They got a lot of respect for you. I can tell. No, there's a lot. It's kind of like a family little thing going on here.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's very cool. Yeah. I understand that Nikki's not here, and he was wise to leave.
He doesn't let just anyone sit in his seat, by the way.
Oh, I'm in his seat?
You're in his seat.
Holy cow. Pressure's on now.
It is.
No, happy to be here. Happy to be here.
You're a fitting replacement for him since you are obviously the #1 villain in all of pro wrestling.
Isn't that something, though?
Yeah.
It's like I'm the biggest asshole in the history. I guess we'll watch that. Keep it kid-friendly here.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, it goes all the way back. Like there's a guy named Gorgeous George that wasn't bad, and it's quite an honor. I'm not sure that I am, but it's quite an honor. I don't know where. I guess that's all I got to say about that. I mean, these guys like Dusty Rhodes and Superstar Billy Graham and Bobby Heenan. Do you remember Bobby Heenan?
Oh, yeah.
Bobby Heenan said to me one time, this is what Bobby Heenan said. He says, I asked Piper, what comes after a sentence? He said parole. Really, Bobby? And so, there's been some great ones. I think that I was probably the most, inside the ring, I didn't play. It wasn't comedy. Hillbilly Jim, I did a thing called Legends House in Harpo Marx Mansion about 2 years ago. They put 8 legends in a mansion and took away all the toys, and I got Tony Atlas and Pat Patterson and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh! And I says to Hacksaw Jim Duggan, I says, did you order your food? He goes, no, I asked it nicely. What does that mean, God?
You got to do a Chippendale skit during that, didn't you?
Thank you very much for reminding me about that. And the thing with that was like Hacksaw. I'll tell you about the cheating part later, but Hacksaw. We've been out we've been away from our wives for 3 weeks. I think we were 4.5 weeks there, and so it was the Chippendales. I hated that part personally, but. So boom, and we got this stuff, and we got white Bobby jock socks on, and a pink shirt doing the Tom Cruise, whatever he did with that.
Risky
with the
Business?
Thank you very much, my dear.
Yeah.
Risky Business. All right, and boom, and I'm up, and I had Hacksaw was standing over me in the afternoon. I don't know how you do this. I don't recommend it for anybody because I'll never do it again. They waxed me.
Oh, God.
Baby Jesus. Are you kidding? The first time you pulled that thing off, I said, dude, don't ever do that again. It's a lady. I don't need nothing for the bikini. I'm fine on that, too. And Hacksaw be going, ooh, this one's really going to hurt, Rod. Thank you. So they waxed me. Then they, spray tan me like they paint a Earl Schreiber car, 99.95, paint anybody. And then then the real guys, real Chippendales tried to teach us. I don't know what I can say here.
You can say anything you want.
Okay, so I never heard of a cocksock myself. And I know, I got to be careful with the lady.
That's a good thing.
Thank you very much. And because I didn't want one.
But now you have, so now you're
I
in the
have
other
now.
category.
I'm just an old Heidi Fleisch now. And so Hacksaw, we get there and we go through the crowd and there's these, these ladies and they're, Screaming at what? I don't know. Anyway, they're screaming and loving. And so now we're supposed to come on stage, and there's the big close where, boom, the shirt comes off one arm, the shirt comes off the second arm, sunglasses come down, and the hard turn. Hacksaw's still down there trying to get a date. Hang on. Hacksaw! Get your ass up here, damn it! Hacksaw! Oh, okay, I'm here, pipes. And this is like the real guys in Vegas. But one thing, they gave them job security because we sucked.
So you're telling me there was never a second time that you did this?
Even
when you got home,
I must have been really
go,
drunk. A couple times really drunk. I picked some guys up when I was about 18 years old, right in this town. They're called the Hollywood Blondes. I don't know what got into me. I used to live on 1733 Ocean Avenue in this town. I wrestled. This is where I got my first break. Maybe I was 19. And the promoter, Mike LaBelle, asked me to pick up the Hollywood Blondes at the LAX. I'm young, dumb, used to wear the blue jeans.
Cocksock?
No. The whole show, you're going to do that. But, you wear your blue jeans in the wintertime, and then they're cut off shorts in the summertime, so I got that on, and, flip-flops, and I saw him come out. I picked him up. I just got naked. Went and got their bags and put them in the trunk. They've never met me before, right? Get in, guys. Get in. And boom. And they, those are different times. I'm not sure what year this was, in the 70s. And so there was this thing called angel dust. Allegedly. Allegedly. I've heard of it. Apparently angels take it and it makes them blossom. Well, so the two Hollywood Bloods look at the ass and go, yeah, go right ahead. And I drove them to the Olympic Auditorium. And by the time they got there, I had to help them both up. And the promoter fired them. So I helped them back down. I dropped them off naked. And I went back to 1733 Ocean Avenue. Yeah, it's been fun.
Would you get started at that point? Would you just walk into a gym and say, "Hey, I want to start training"? What would it be like?
Holy cow! Boy, I wish it was like that. I'm kind of unique. I had never seen a professional wrestling match before, and I left home when I was 13. And I came fifth in the world professionally playing the bagpipes. Which is like, couldn't have given me the guitar and been Paul McCartney, or like Elton John on the piano, and give me the bagpipes, which is the second hardest instrument in the world to play. It's a war instrument, so the tunes are like flank left, flank right, et cetera, et cetera. And I would stay in youth hostels, and it cost 25 cents to get in.
Wow.
And so at nighttime, I would, play my bagpipes with the case and get what change I could. And there was this one youth hostel. It was kind of cool, I guess, for youth hostels. Trying to make the best of it, Be thankful for what you got. And you go down there and you give them a quarter. And they had a big sign. I swear to you. They had a big sign that says, check your weapons and drugs at the door. I'm not kidding. And they give them back to you. Yeah, that kilo of cocaine is mine, and the Uzi over, whatever. Yeah, you came in, and there was 3-tier bunk beds. And when you come in, you got a sandwich, a carton of milk, and a cookie, boom, boom, and then lights out at 9 p.m., and then 6 a.m., loud music. Get you out of there. You got a paper plate, 2 eggs, bacon, and a little toast. And then they gave you a towel. You'd have a shower, and you had to get out. And you couldn't come back the next day. But you could come back the day after. So, you made most of my money at night under the streetlight blowing my bagpipes. Yeah, I got pretty good at ducking and mucking, too. And so during the day, though, because it was a YMCA, I had nothing to do when I saw some guys wrestling, amateur wrestling. So I just started wrestling, and there was a bag over there. I started boxing, and I ended up being the Golden Gloves champion and the 167 amateur wrestling champion. Now, my coach was a priest, and when wrestling came into this country in Canada, he would be like the local referee for the first 2 matches. So that was just his affiliation. And one time I was coming back home to the youth hostel, and this old man come up to me and says, hey, can you tell me, I don't know what the name Victoria Avenue is. And I come up and I went, oh, and he tried to get me his car. And so like, boom, I beat it, and remember at 9 p.m. that they're closed, and I'm like, Father, let me in now, please. And he sat me down. This is what he said to me. He says, Roderick, he says, I'm leaving, and I'm not going to be here to let you in. And let me tell you what's going to happen to you. And this is exactly what he said. He says, you're going to get stuck out there, and you're going to get hungry, and you're going to rob a 7-Eleven, and the police are going to get you. They're going to throw you in jail. You're going to get raped, and then you're going to die. He's a priest. He knows this stuff. Exactly what he said. I can get you $25 if you want to fight this guy. And I had never seen a professional wrestling match. Sure, I'm in. So I went to my pipe band, and I wore the kilt of the pipe band. And like 4 bagpipers, full regalia, bass drummer, boom, boom, with a big fuzzy hat and the pint of scotch inside the hole in that hat, and 2 snares. And like I'm 167 pounds, I'm wrestling 167 middleweight. Do you remember Mr. Perfect?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, all right. It was his dad, that Larry the Axe Henning, all right? So I didn't understand the concept of upstaging. And my Christian name is Roderick George Toombs. Short for Roderick is Roddy. And I'm coming down, and the announcer doesn't know who I am. I really didn't care either. But he's got to say something. So he goes, and from Glasgow, Scotland, Roddy the Piper. And that was it. And I went in, shortest match in the history of the Winnipeg Arena. He beat me in 10 seconds, including the 3 count. Busted my nose, my eye.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm back in the dressing room, and I think they're going to cheat me out of my $25. And they say, kid, you did great. How'd you like to go to Kansas City?
Can I fix my face first?
It's like, is Larry Henning going to be there? Oh, no, he won't. And they put me in a car with 6 other wrestlers, 2 ladies. All as hairy as Larry. Moolah's dead now. I love you. And you know what? They smuggled me over the border, and I didn't have a number. Nobody knew I was alive. I didn't have a social security number. I was expendable. And they beat me up every night until I was about 17 or 18. I'd wrestle the first match every night, and I just never stopped. And it was just a mistake that I'm still paying for. But out of it, I got 4 of the most beautiful children in the world, and my wife of 32 years. And, God takes care of fools and babies, and he's still taking care of me, and that's how I got into it,
You're a WWE Hall of Famer now. You're in the
class
class of
the ring.
2005.
Oh, let's see.
I'm in 4 Halls of Fame, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
There you go.
You need a minute, Brett?
I need a minute with this. I'm going to carbon copy it. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Take it to Home Depot to the key making station. Can you remake this?
It's I'm in the World Hall of Fame in Amsterdam, the Amateur Wrestling Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, Canadian Hall of Fame, and the WWE Hall of Fame. It's very cool. It's nice, but I got 4 kids. I did this podcast with Steve Austin, and like 2 hours he's interrogating me, and he says, fine, he says, how do you want to be remembered? I want to be remembered as a good dad. So I'm a big time dad, I think.
How old are they?
Good question. You see, and that's my kids, right? They're 30, 28, 25, and Fallon, I just talked to her. She's 2nd year in college. She's 20.
Love that name.
Yeah, and my oldest son-in-law is a captain. He's been wounded twice. Ugh. My other son-in-law is a Green Beret. He's over there now. My son's an undefeated MMA fighter. And my daughter's never going to get a date. There was a where in the very beginning with Stacia, my oldest, and Ariel, who's like 2.5 years younger than her. when the boys come, I'll give you, for you gentlemen, they're going to have daughters and probably, sweetheart, with your dad. You have a son. Yes. Okay. Well, probably your dad did this. I had a speech.
You did? Did you?
I'm going to let you hear my speech to the boys that come for my daughters.
Okay.
Now, we live on a mountain 1,000 feet above the snow line.
So there's the first obstacle. Okay, you want to take her out? Get to my house.
You have to get all the way up here
On
without
foot.
dying.
Yes. And I mean, it's called Bald Peak Mountain. It's a mountain. They don't deliver there. Okay? The closest town, maybe 20 miles. Hillsboro, maybe 21 miles, something like that. So the boys would come, and I'd get the door, and I'd say, hello? Who are you here for? Anastasia. What's your name? Joe. Nice to meet you. Why don't you come on back to the office? Joe would sit in the office, and I'd say, hey, Joe, let me ask you something. Supposing you worked every day of your life for 3 years because you wanted to buy this beautiful black pickup truck with the chrome fog lights and, all spanking you, and you finally got that pickup truck and you drove into the shopping plaza to get some flowers for your girl, and when you came out, somebody had taken a key and just ran the key up and down that truck. How'd you feel? Boy, I tell you, don't key my daughter. Have a good time. Where are you going? The movies? Which one? Sniper? Mom, we're going to Sniper. Finally, the oldest two boycotted me. They got me in the corner and said, Dad. It's because a couple of kids just ran out, and I don't understand it. But that was my speech.
Perfect speech.
Would you ever even? I would literally be like, "You can take her, bye." Like I don't know if I can. I'm not taking her anywhere. You're keeping her here in this house on top of this giant mountain.
Yeah,
I'm like they'll never find my body.
Yeah,
we set her up on this mountain.
There's like 6 dogs, whatever number of horses. One of the dogs is an Angolian shepherd. He goes toe to toe with a bear, and you got these. You put a collar, and they got long like spikes. So when the bear's paw gets it, and so he's the first thing you meet. My name's Vertigo the dog. You get past him.
Talks.
Well,
great, we're dog food by this point.
Oh my god.
Anyway, but oldest one married a captain, second one a Green Beret. Fine man. My oldest daughter, she falls in love. They fall in love, and he's on Fayetteville. And they just got married in a little courthouse just of the peace in Fayetteville. My second oldest daughter, when they went to school on the school bus, there was this little fat kid that she used to stand up for all the time. His name was Phil. And as they went through, grade 12, I guess it is. The only thing kept me out of college was high school. Yeah, I got through grade 12, and they all come over, have a big pool. All the kids would come over. It's fine. And he went off to the forces, and he became a Green Beret. So on Christmas Eve, he had come to me and asked me first as a man, and then on Christmas Eve, he got down on one knee and asked Ariel to marry him. And so they got married in the same courthouse with the same justice of the peace that my older one did in Fayetteville. What were the chances? And so, they married 2 good men.
That's an awesome story right there.
Do these son-in-laws ever try to step up to you? They want to see if they can, You could still put them in a sleeper hold. And
at least. Yeah, it's like they're under this concept of honor, and that I'm a pro, so if I was going to take somebody out, you'd be the last to know. It's not, you want to fight? No. Hey, can I buy you a drink?
Right.
Pom, you're gone.
Again, I'm up on the mountain, buried somewhere. No one will find me. We all love you in They Live, obviously.
Oh, thank you.
Huge cult horror film. Love it. You have a new horror film coming out, though. It's called Portal to Hell. Is that coming out soon?
Yeah. It's one of those things I did, and it ended up turning pretty good. it's a comedy, but at the same time, it gets pretty serious. It deals into the devil worshiping, and there's a portal, and you go into it, and I'm supposed to save everybody's lives,
Well,
like hell comes to Frogtown. That's coming out in January. But in October, I did one here called The Chair, which is really whoosh. My assistant over there, I said, read the script for me. So he read the script for me, and I died in certain part.
Thanks.
Thanks, yeah. So it comes day, and he failed to tell me there was a rape scene in it. I'm a guard raping some guy. Need to know information.
Well, at least you're the rapey, not the rape.
There you go. Yeah. And it's one of my favorite things to do. So I'm a little antsy about that one, to be honest with you, because here comes the director, right? And the director, they had heard that I wasn't really happy about this piece of work, and rightfully so. He kind of goes, "Hey, you took the money, you had the script. If you had a problem with it, you had your chance." And he got angry, but he didn't vent it straight to me. He vented it to the other 4 actors that had nothing to do with it. And he says, "I want some damn Sam Peckinpah stuff here." Well, find Sam Peckinpah and get it. However, he was right. And so, like everything, I put my heart into it and a lot of other things. And it's brutal. It's a brutal show, that one.
Now, speaking of They Live, all the 80s movies seem to be getting remade, the great ones. If they tried to remake that, how would you feel? Would you want to be a part of it? Would you feel like it was not the right thing to do?
Oh, you'd have to be a part of it.
The first thought was, if I was to remake it, it spoils the first one. I'm not sure the first one wasn't a documentary. The way things are happening, and in any case, and there's a large cult following, Alex Jones show, where they use They Live as like a template of what's going on, just to make it easy for everyone. And so that was my first train of thought. And I was walking the carpet the other day, and this, I have all these camera people and something. And there's this poor little gal. She's had a little tiny recorder, and I think she was from maybe a university. And I get her up front here, and she says, "Are you going to make another They Live?" Same question. I says, "I don't know." And she says, "I think you should, and you should be on the alien side."
Oh.
First good idea of her. What a switch.
That's a twist.
bad.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be a twist?
Yeah.
So, you might have to have some. John Nada had a son or something. I'm not sure how you do that, but I almost called Carpenter. This just happened like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, then I'll do it. I'll do it then, as long as I don't have to fight that Keith David again. Just put the glasses on, dude. I'm not asking you for money, your wife. Just put the glasses on. He's like a 220-pound dancer. He hit like Mike Tyson, didn't know it. And he just... he was killing me. In the camera, as you know, like, you don't actually hit the person, you just cross the line. But as he's crossed the line, so those listen on radio, as you cross the line, think of your fist cross the line. And as your fist comes back, he's catching me in my eye with his thumb in my throat and in my lips. And fine, time, everybody out of the pool. Carpenter, come here. Keith, come here. I said... From the neck down, just hit me, okay? It's going to get done. It's going to be a lot easier on me. And I think that's what kept it worked to our advantage, because we went as far as we could. And he didn't have any problem following those directions either. And we got like 3 intense minutes down, 3 different sections, I'm trying to say. And then you had to go in, like for the suplex, you had to have a mat and stuff. But I think that's what kind of made it more energetic and kind of made it stand out, is I was really getting hit, and we were really taking it as far as we could. And he's a great guy, Keith. Great actor. I was proud to be there. Him and Meg Foster. wow, she's got pretty eyes. Allegedly.
How do you stay in shape? I mean, you look great.
Oh, can I take you home?
Yeah, can you help me? Can you help me?
You look great. Are you kidding? I've always gone to the gym since I can remember, but I understand. You know, I had let's see. I'll try to run it down for you. I've had over 7,000 pro fights, 30-some car crashes. I've been stabbed 3 times. I was electrocuted. I had cancer. In 94, the right hip was replaced. I broke my neck. I didn't know it for about 6 months, but they fixed it, I think, in 212, put 7 screws and fused 4 discs. And then just last October, I thought it was hurting a lot, but last October they found out I broke my left shoulder too. So they just put 9 screws in there and put everything up and put stem cells in there.
Ooh, cool.
So like I got no more injuries. I'm ready to fight.
You're super Roddy.
I love you. I'm the 60 cent man, $6 million, whatever. Went down in an airplane.
Okay, hold, stop. Wait, what?
Yeah, it sucks, man. You know, you in car crashes, I don't know if you ever done this, like, well, I would hold on to this, or, you know, we could, what is it, the airplane, you're supposed to, like, go down and put your head down.
Right. What kind of plane was it?
It was a twin-engine private plane.
Okay.
And just, like, coming down, and I got attributed to hitting an air pocket, and just whop down on the runway, and put my head through not completely through, but it dented it and broke my neck. And I was wrestling Wahoo McDaniels in Greenville, South Carolina in the afternoon, and the plane was taking me to Savannah. And there's a rule, like, if you get in the ring and the bell rings, they don't have to give the money back. And so, like, they had 3 cops, like, I got no idea where I'm going. And they got 3 cops on each side, and I'm kind of bouncing, and they get me in the ring, and I just hooked the top rope, and they rang the bell. I don't remember a lot past then. But they never took me to the hospital. They just kept me going. I was in the ring a day after I got stabbed an inch from the heart, watching Ivan Koloff, and there's a big patch. You can see a big patch on my chest, you know, and they're wailing on it, and they're going, this ain't right. This ain't right. It's too hard to make a living like doing that. But I was too deep into it, you know. Oh my God! Listen, let me tell you, man, something lighter.
Well,
no, that's incredible.
We hear all about the football players and concussions in the headlines, but I think one of maybe the underreported tragedies is like the whole generation of wrestlers who we've lost, or close to that. What's that like? Seeing a lot of your contemporaries just not around anymore.
I went through a period of time where. I'll tell you one story. We were in the Miami Marriott. Miami Marriott. It's a lovely place. I can quote you the room service menu. And when we come in to, back then, you know, you're on the road 330 days a year. So when you come into your room, you kind of leave the chain and leave the door open. The reason for that is because we're so lazy when we order room service, we don't want to have to get up, you know, just come bring it on in, you know. And I don't know if you remember the Von Erichs, Kerry Von Erich, Texas Tornado.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Kerry, his right leg, God, man, he was a stud, looked like Tarzan. And he took off on his motorcycle to get something and had an accident and got his leg cut off from below the knee down. But like when I was maybe 16 or 17 when I was in Texas, and they were the same age, and so like we were buddies, and he didn't mind taking his leg off, in my room. It didn't bother. So we come in the room, and I don't know what we were thinking, to be honest, but open the window, and we're out on the ledge, and the window closed, and I can remember like the wind's coming so hard. You don't realize it up that high that the ledge is, I don't know, maybe I'll give it a foot. And I had to push back against the window. And we weren't talking about anything. I don't know what we were doing, to be honest with you. Just having a beer. And Mr. Perfect and Big Boss Man came down to have a beer, and the door was like it is. And I went, whoa, and pulled us in. Out of all those guys, I'm the only one alive, and I'm the oldest of them all. Adrian Adonis, I did the eulogy at his funeral. It's the last funeral I went to. I can't go to him anymore. It just got too rough too lawless, and, paid the price for it. So what I do is I try, like sometimes Mr. Perfect's son will call me, or, a lot of the guys' boys call, and, lost Reed, Flair. Still have texts from him, and hard one to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24 years old. That's another problem, though, you have in the business. If you have children, especially boys, it looks like so much fun, but it's what you don't see that's not so much fun. Although there are a lot of fun things. Let me just turn this around real quick. So when we get bored, there was this guy named Frenchie Martin. He was great, man. Frenchie Martin was from Quebec. And sometimes when you get those red eyes, and you get there in the bags and everybody's waiting for their bags and we're so tired, And Frenchie would see this. I love you, Frenchie, wherever you are. Frenchie would go and he would, the baggage thing is coming out and all the bags and all of a sudden
baggage claims are broken. I don't know where you're going.
So as the baggage came, all of a sudden Frenchie would have his back to it and take a step back and fall into the baggage claim and spit his false teeth out on the floor. And now he's, hey, please help me, and people are diving and throwing life rafts and flippers coming and out. And he would go all the way through and out the other side screaming for help. And then you would see people going like, what came out of his teeth? And finally he would come out and go and he'd straighten out his, I should sue you for having such a dangerous machine. I'll get my teeth back in. And he left just for our entertainment. All kinds of stuff. They used to put me in the trunk naked.
Well,
one of my favorite matches of yours is WrestleMania 8 versus Bret the Hitman Hart for the Intercontinental title. I felt like that match was just perfect. I thought it told a perfect story, especially with you at the end not using the ring bell and putting it aside, raising his hand at the end. Is there any match, maybe besides that one, or if that's not it, but any match in your mind that was the perfect match, that was one of my most favorite of all? Ooh. Or if not that, maybe a perfect feud, because you had great feuds with Hogan, Flair, Rude, Snuka.
Valentine, dog collar match, Guerreros. Everybody hated me. That's a really interesting question. I had some really good matches. There was a match that it was a 30-minute time limit. It went the time limit, so they raised it to 60 minutes, and it went the time limit. They put it to 90 minutes match, and it made the time limit. And so when you're getting those kind of matches, that's a different psychology. The one with Brett, what changed that match was I was never much. I've had 38 some titles, whatever. They're a pain in the neck. They're heavy when you go through the I don't need one. In any case, but I was a champion, and when you're the champion, you wrestle different. You're not in a feud. You wrestle different. And Brett and I didn't say 3 words to each other, I don't think. In prep, hey, go get him. And everything I had said to Brett about meeting his mom, I did. I bought her roses. She was a beautiful lady, and they had in their house. It was like a pizza oven, but they just made grilled cheese sandwiches on for so many kids, and flipped one, and I caught one, and had a great time, and said, I don't want to fight you, which is just part of the pre-entertainment. But what was cool about that was from a performer's point of view, those people didn't know what to expect. they weren't programmed by the promotion to boo and cheer for. They were like a little baby, and so things that happened in there as it escalated. They responded, and they didn't. There wasn't a canned response, so to speak. They didn't really know how to respond. And when I got the bell, I've never heard this before. As opposed to referee's got the bell, it was like, no, Roddy, don't do it.
Right.
Like a whole different. Come on,
Not only was it an organic match, but it was an organic crowd. That was
very
growing
well. I've
along
never
with
heard
you.
it said that way.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I should have hit him with that bell. Listening to you guys, I lost the damn thing. No, it was, and I'll tell you, I didn't lose, and I'll tell you in a second. But like that's performing. That's performing. You don't know what's going on. It's up to you to. And so, bottom line, boom, I put him in the sleeper. He kicked the top turnbuckle. He came over, and this is what the referee did. He came and counted my shoulders, 1, 2, 3. But that was wrong. The sleeper is an offensive move. And when Brett came back, my shoulders were down, but he should have checked Brett, see if he was out first with his arm. And if Brett was out, I had won. So he skipped that move. But I just put that in for the rematch that never happened. I wasn't. I wouldn't just lay my shoulders down. I went 17 years. I wouldn't take a dive for nobody.
You still return to WWE every so often, and there was a moment last year. You were in the ring doing Piper's Pit with the members of the Shield.
Yeah,
and it was an awesome segment. I loved it.
Thank you.
And CM Punk made the save for you in the end. But those three are now Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. They're now the top stars of the company. Do you see them as great top stars, or do you see anyone else coming up that you're like, these are the guys, this is the new breed that's coming up?
Sometimes, they bring us in to give a rub. CM Punk, Dean Ambrose, The Shield, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Yeah. They're incredible athletes, and they're fantastic. And they're coming in. They keep comparing them, and I don't think they should do that. Somebody said, Dean Ambrose, if Stone Cold and Piper had a kid, it would be Dean Ambrose. Come on, can we get more creative than that? Then they have this Nexus kind of group coming up, right. And those boys they're pouring it on. So I think Dean Ambrose is great. I'm really proud of CM Punk. I took a lot of guts to make the movie. Did that's Seth Rollins, who's the kid that. I didn't know he didn't like to be touched, and I pinched his cheek.
Oh, God.
What was his name?
Is that Roman?
Roman Reigns, yeah. Ooh, I got a rise from him, I did. I think those three, Daniel Bryan, who's just had some bad luck with his neck.
Yeah.
I think he's fantastic. Randy Orton, he's as good as anybody. Wade Barrett, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, and his brother... Goldust, yeah. I had a hell of a fight with him in an alley one time.
That was the street fight match, right?
Backlot brawl.
Yes.
With this knuckle back here on his head. He's a tough kid, man. And, that's a Vince McMahon thing again. It's like, he gives him a gold Cadillac. He gives me a baseball bat. Really, Vince? And so, okay, here we go. And I beat the dog out of him, too. And, I'm good at destruction. It's putting it back together I'm not good at. And finally, he gets in the car, and he hits it. And he's coming straight at me, and he's expecting me to move. And I'm looking at this car. And I'm going, guy wouldn't want to get trapped under it. But I bet you if I slapped the hood, I could, boom, and I just took the shot. But as he was coming... his eyeballs, they got to the size of dinner plates, man. He go, and he was going fast because he wanted to fishtail the corner. I just let him hit me. I don't know why. And then, I took off after him in OJ's Bronco, right?
Right.
And I thought, no shame. Then they had the OJ chase in it. And then I catch him, with his fishnet stockings on in the pond. and ripped them off. And I brought those home to my son. I don't know what that means. And he's a great kid. He asked me a question I've never been asked before, and he was so shy about it. Man, he comes in, says, "Mr. Piper, do you mind if I kiss you in the ring?" Brother, if that's the worst thing that's going to happen to me, bring it on. Let's call it a night. And
then you get hit by a car.
Yeah, and then I get hit by a car. Yeah, but it drew a lot of money, and it was it lived up to what those fans, you folks. A lot of guys, new wrestlers out there, you need to know that to bring your families probably about $250 to $300 by the time you park, buy the tickets, get some salt the popcorn, they'll drink more Coke, get them in there. You owe them your heart.
Yep.
You need to go out there and give them everything you got. And
they're wearing the T-shirt that they bought prior to coming. And right.
How beautiful. There you go, bud. And that you need to have. There's words like mark. I hate that word. I hate it with a passion. There's another word, smart, that in the industry that's, I don't know. I'll give you, after the very first WrestleMania, I'm in a plane with Magnificent Morocco, the Prince of Darkness. And so we're in Time magazine, and he's reading it. And bottom line, Time magazine says, pro wrestling is 99% fake. He looks at me and says, see, they don't even know. Guys, they're killing me. I don't know what you're watching, but I've fought Andre the Giant over 100 times, and whew, you're falling a long way when you got time to think and order.
Wait,
I'll have the brisket and no.
How are you not exhausted? How were you? I mean, how do they stay like this every time to perform and to be that passionate? Where does that come from?
They're very special people.
I'm tired for you.
I love you. They're very special. They get weeded out. There's not many that. Also, their schedule's backed way off. I think they're doing like 220 dates a year. Where like 330. Whoosh. I one time they had me do. I had 90 fights in 90 days in 90 different places. I didn't know where I was, and they wouldn't let me go home. They put me in a hotel room for a couple of days. I'm not a violent guy. I'm a dad, and so just to decompress me and get me back there. But that was in the days when we were taking over territories, and it was they didn't want it. I came down one time in the Olympic Auditorium in L.A. There was a ring announcer called Jimmy Lennon. And you can see his son, Jimmy Lennon Jr., announcing boxing matches now. And Jimmy Lennon was a great man. And I'm coming down to the ring, and this guy is screaming to Jimmy Lennon to get out of my way. And he's got a .45 automatic, and he's going to shoot me. And Jimmy Lennon was smart enough to just enough time. There's a high sign they've got where the police come in, boom. I didn't even know any of this was going on. I get in the ring, and I have my match. I come back. And one of the policemen come and get me, and they brought me to the office, and they unloaded it, and the bullet had Piper carved in it. Yeah. I'm not sure what my point was there, but, just another day in paradise. It was very, I guess my point was, like, I come to your town, I tell you I'm going to beat your champion or beat you or whatever for 3-4 weeks, then I'd come to your town. And after, we all have to eat. So probably when I end up at a fine French restaurant, La Danaise, first thing I do, I go right into the cook, give him $20 so he don't spit in my food. And then get my back to the wall, and everybody's liquored up. Yeah, and you'd fight your way in and fight your way out, and it just was every night. Exhausting. You know what, though? After a while, you're numb. You really don't really feel punches anymore. You don't feel how hard or not hard you're getting hit. But you're mean. You're you could be hard to get along with if you wanted.
It seems to me that your kids are what made you human.
My kids saved my life.
Right.
They so I'm coming up when I was 19 years old, and I became this, they call it Boy Wonder baloney, and I was selling out the Olympic Auditorium, selling out the cowbells, et cetera, et cetera. And Vince Sr. brings me into Madison Square Garden, which is, the most prestigious venue in the world. And a 19-year-old kid there is unheard of. So boom, here I come. And I have bagpipes, and as I'm going into the garden, do you guys remember, I don't know if you remember these guys, like Captain Lou Albano?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I come in, and I'm 180 pounds maybe at the time, and, there's some new guys there, like little Tony Atlas, little Andre the Giant, little Bruno Sammartino, and so, bagpipes is a woodwind instrument, and you got to warm it up, and when I first came in, Captain Lou come and grabbed me by my cheek. Paisan. They saw the TV from L.A. and it went into New York. And, he squeezes it and slaps it. We don't want you. It's just wrestler love. We don't want you here, And here comes Freddie Blassie. And he had a song called Pencil Neck Geek. And, and he had a cane. And he whomps me on the shins with a cane. And, hey, you punk, get out of here, And wrestler love. So I was on third or fourth. They came in a limousine. They were very kind to me, and it was time for me to go on. And I came fifth in the world playing the bagpipes, as I told you. So Madison Square Garden is just 24,000 Puerto Ricans with knives, basically. I'm nothing, with little pocket knives to clean their nails with. Whoa. I was doing a show, and I do a one-man show. Like I'm getting ready for Broadway, and I was in London.
I see that now.
And I was talking about midget tossing, which is a blast, man. Have you ever been midget tossing?
No.
No?
Never.
You got to come out with me one night. And, get the little fellas drunk. It's better because, they'll toss and roll. You get better distance on them.
I can't.
And, no, it's true. And there's a little,
I am totally going.
There's a little harness it comes under their arms, and it's got a handle on it, but they're bum.
Thank God.
But they're bum heavy, so you got to get a little bit of a run and chew. And I'm telling this story, and I look down, and in the first row, right in front of me, is a midget. I swear, and on the whole crowd, I was the only one that didn't realize it. And finally, when I did, they went, But, he wanted to go tossing, so he was cool with it. I wanted alligator boots, so I shot an alligator. I'll finish it. I'll finish it.
The midget has a handle, and now we have boots.
Well, but I'll tell you.
I can't get the image out of my head of taking WWE's Hornswoggle
yeah.
midget tossing.
Yeah, you got to get the right harness for them, though. You got to get the right harness, and but they're bum heavy. It's hard on the left shoulder, but enough whiskey, you don't care. Yeah.
I saw a comic book came out this past year. It was called Rowdy Roddy Piper, the Monster Killer.
Yeah, graphic novel that got out.
Yeah.
And it looks great. It's very cool. I got my son in it also, Colt. He goes under Colt Dooms. It's I'm very grateful. It's just about to come out. Be distributed all over the world.
That's awesome. So it's a story of you and your son are both in it as monster killers?
Yeah, and I kind of made the story of where the bagpipes bring the monsters out. So from a little kind of stole a little they live, and so like they're all human beings, but nobody likes the bagpipes, unless well, I'm a big. They played at funerals a lot, and so I'm on a hill, and I'm the last of my clan except my son. And I've been hiding him. And when I play my bagpipes, these pretty ugly monsters come, and you're trying to rid the world of them. I'm trying to save my son, and then my son and I get on together, and I don't want to tell you the rest of it.
I got to buy it now.
I love you. I should have brought some for you.
Don't worry.
I got a soda pop out in the market. Rowdy Roddy Piper's all out of bubblegum soda pop.
I saw that down the street.
It's in Bevmo and Rocket Fizz, like really in bubblegum.
That's cool.
I just become Ronald McDonald's twin brother. I got the kilt. I just need the nose, and I'm in.
I think it's perfect. It's perfect branding.
I love you. I love you.
All right, so let's talk about I Stand for the Silent. I want to know everything about it. Everything.
Thank you. Okay. This year is the anniversary. It's been 5 years. And I need you guys out there to listen to me now. 5 years ago, an 11-year-old boy named Ty Smalley, he killed himself because he was being bullied. 22 children a day, almost one an hour, kill themselves from being bullied. 2 days ago, a 12-year-old girl killed herself for being bullied. Amber and Nicole, one was 12 and one was 11. This is the last 2 days. Killed. I can't imagine an 11-year-old boy or a little girl having to make up a plan to kill themselves. And I'm going like, where are the dads? 55,000 kids have killed themselves. I spoke with Ty Smalley's dad, Kirk, and Laura. And they started this IStandForTheSilent.org. It's like, we got to do something about this. One of my big pet peeves, I've had cancer, if I didn't mention that one, these kids, they want to bring awareness to it. And the way the cancer came up, because bring awareness to breast cancer, whatever it is. In this case here, I'm a little angry with it. I'm taking it all over the world, but, bring awareness to it isn't good enough. You got to stop it. You don't stop a bully by going and bullying him. You got, you know what? He needs a hug or she needs a hug. You got to figure it out. When it's staggering, and then how can you not know that your child is getting ready to kill themselves? Well, Julian, come here for a second, champ.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Julian, Roddy's assistant.
Hi, Julian.
I was bullied quite a bit when I was a kid. And it became a serious issue, but I never told my parents.
Why?
Because my mom would cause a scene. She would visit the school.
My mom did that.
Yeah, I just couldn't take it.
I took it.
She did it once.
You gotta tell them.
Exactly. But that's not what most kids, that's not how most kids' mindsets are
No,
nowadays.
because they think it'll make it worse.
It'll make it, and it will. And it did for me when I told the first time.
Okay.
So I learned from that, and I never told again. But luckily, I had good friends.
There you go. So the point is, like, I understand that you would be too embarrassed or too ashamed. Okay? And I need to tell you guys something. I get scared all the time. All the time. I'm scared of everything, makes me not afraid of anything. I do everything that you do. I worry, I stress. I got bullied. I have one guy when I was in a country, it was 35 below. I had a paper route, and they dropped all the papers off at the same place. The guy's name was Jinx Mason. And he'd push my face in the snow, and he'd beat me up every day. And just to culminate it, in the springtime when we could play baseball, I was a catcher. I did a pop fly. There was a guy on third. Boom, pop fly, come to me. I put my shoulder, it was Jinx Mason. The whole recess, he could also outrun me. Just kept kicking me in the bum all the way around. And I tell you, I left that town. It was called Port Arthur. And I went and I learned how to fight, and I came back. I was going to do what I need. And it turned out he was I thought they were saying he was in a mental hospital, but there was rehab. I know what it is. I'm the smallest pro wrestler ever for the big leagues. I'm about the smallest. I know what it is to get bullied. It's not shameful to come up and say you need some help. But as little kids, they don't understand it. So my point is this. You got 55,000 kids in the last 7 years. So we're going a kid an hour, just under a kid an hour. Right? And you know what? It could be your kid. It could be your kid. And heightening the awareness is one thing, and doing something about it is another thing. So I'm trying to figure out how to make a place that they can come to where I learned from Julian, where they don't have to be ashamed. It's confidential, so we can cut them off at the pass. But at this point here, the way things are going, and there's people that'll come up and say, well, at T-ball, all the kids win, and we're making it too easy on them, and all that. And you know what? You're wrong. Everybody needs some help. Dads, you need to open your eyes and look what's going on. If they even come home from school crying, go find out what's going on. I tell you, with myself, my second oldest daughter, she came home crying. I says, what's wrong? When she was in class in grade 6, the guy's name was Mr. Fast. And he started the class with, well, last night I saw Mr. P get the dog kicked out of him by Mr. T, this 15-minute monologue. So the next morning I went to the class and I grabbed Mr. Fast by the neck and I drug him down to the principal's office and I did 15 minutes on him. I can do 15 minutes on you. And how do you like it? And Mr. Fast is shaking and peeing his pants. She got an A. Tough guy? I'm not a tough guy. But making awareness of it is one thing, doing something's another. The best thing that can happen to me right now, and for all the guys that are in my business, and I want to speak on behalf of them, is without you folks that allow me the privilege of coming on here, we can't do anything. We can't sell a wrestling ticket. We can't do anything. You are very important to us. There's some guys that don't catch that concept, and I couldn't get this message out. So I thank you for that. I thank you for allowing me to do that. But, let's not talk about it anymore. Let's go fix it. Right. Whatever that is, let's go fix it. 5 years ago today, he had a son. I can't imagine losing one of my boys. I can't imagine my 11-year-old child trying to figure out some way she's got to kill herself. That life's that miserable. And the teachers, I've got a couple on that have come to me through tweets or other things where they go to the school and the teachers, they take it as, passing by, or they say something. And I think teachers are underpaid and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? Take them seriously. Otherwise, I'm coming to your school, and you will take me seriously. Everybody likes, you know what? There's this expression. It's the least I could do. If I could do less, I would. What if it was your kid? So, standforthesilent.org. You can go there, and Kirk and Laura Smalley, they have set up a system where these kids can come in and get them some help. Standforthesilent.org.
No, you're not alone. You're not alone.
You're not. And you know what? There's no shame in it. The shame is on the bully's part. Be brave. It takes a really courageous young person to come up and say, I've got a problem. I'm getting beat up. I got a problem. And they should only have to say it once. Because I went to school and nobody messed with my kids again. And I know I'm Roddy Piper and all the rest of that stuff. But you know what? What about the riots in, was it Baltimore, where that mummy came out and the kid was dressed like a ninja and people were saying, oh, she shouldn't do that. You know what? Take a flying donut. She did perfect. He had a ninja outfit on. They're going to go and boom, she got him right back in the house. Yeah, mama.
You know how many job offers she's had, by the way?
God bless.
I mean, Under Armour, all these people offering her jobs.
And she's a single mommy with, I think it was 6 kids?
Something close, I think 5.
Five, and maybe all boys? And she, I was watching her. That's who we need. And she didn't quit. He tried to get away. Ninja my butt. Get your ass back in the house. Yeah. I don't know that we have to do it every time that way, but if it's in the middle of a riot, that's a perfect way to do it. Gotta stand for the silent.org because they're silent, and I'll stand up for them. I love them. I come from a very rough. I left home when I was 13, as you know, so I understand. I'd rather have my arm broken than have my feelings hurt. So you can catch more bees with honey than you can with the net. I'm serious about it, and I get angry about it. But you know what? Again, it could be your little boy, your little girl. And if we're losing 22 a day in the United States, chances are, let's see, since I've been here, we've lost 2. Please help.
Roddy Piper, it was an honor to have you here on Sixx Sense. Thank you so much.
The honor's mine. And I mean it. Without you people, we're nothing. And when Nikki Sixx comes back, you tell him that I dusted his chair off for him. It won't have any guilt germs on it. And next time I see him, he busts out the guitar. I'll bust out the bagpipes, and we'll go change some bullies' minds. You know, man? You're like, you know what I like to do? I like to play the piano. I like to draw. I like poetry. You know, I'm supposed to be this big, whatever. I like to be soft. I told you, I play Barbie. You know, get a life. You know, stand up to the plate.
We'll put all this information up on our website, too, up at sixxsense.com. So it's standforthesilent.org.
Yes, sir.
We'll also put up the campaign video. Also, if you need to get more of your Roddy Piper fix, go to rowdyroddypiper.com.
I love you.
Check him out and follow him on Twitter at r_Roddy_Piper on Twitter.
Very cool. Yeah.
And be sure to subscribe to him on iTunes with Piper's Pit, his podcast.
Yeah, we're getting millions. And you got to subscribe. And it's going to, you watch, I'm going to fix this.
It's awesome.
I'm going to do everything I can. I'll leave you with an Irish poem. For those who love us, may God bless. For those who don't, may God turn their hearts. And if he can't turn their hearts, may he turn their ankles so we recognize them by their limp. Thanks for having me. I love you all.
Thank you, Roddy.
Bye-bye.
Oh, right.